Good evening, guys. It's Phil. It's All Leeds TV, and we're back with another big match preview. And as you can see, I've got two lovely, shiny guests with me this evening.
Yeah. We're back together. The band's back together.
Exactly. I mean, I think the most important question that we have to ask from the get-go is, lad, what the fuck has happened? Why are you even back? I mean, I'm grateful and all, but why are you here? Have you been dumped?
No, first. No, I haven't been dumped. I've literally said I won't be able to see you tonight. With my
Have you told her it's because you recorded a podcast with your dad and you creepy uncle?
No.
We've got a dog going crazy because there's a dog on the TV screen. Apologies there. This went mad. I thought someone was trying to break in, but it's not because there's a dog on the TV screen.
Either way, we're honoured to have him back, aren't we, Dad? It's nice.
Yeah, I mean...
It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
It's because it's my birthday, and I said, "Come on, it's my birthday." So, what else would you want to do other than spend time with your dad on a Leeds United vlog?
Yeah,
so you put the guilt trip on,
big time.
Well, we can't even deliver the reciprocalness, can we? Because we're not even at full strength. Chris has bottled it this time.
Yeah.
So the day that we actually get a full cast back together for one of these shows will be a fucking miracle. Nice to see you actually turn up for once. I hope you turn up to your exams more often than you turn up to these shows, but we'll see. How are we feeling? Obviously, I know we're going to have different ends of the scale because one of you is usually quite positive, one of you is usually incredibly miserable, and we've got different. Yeah, definitely the other way around. We've got different ends of the scale, and hopefully, I'll sort of try and balance my way somewhere in the middle. But we're going to catch up on. We last spoke, lad. I'm not going to try and remember the last time I spoke to you on one of these and what it was about. So I'll just go with your dad. But we obviously previewed the last game against SCUM in midweek. And
yeah,
I think that's the obvious place to start. How did you enjoy the other night? That was fucking enjoyable, right?
Oh, it was great. It was that. I think 25 minutes was probably the best 25 minutes I've seen Leeds play. Since the great Bielsa era, I'd say that was the most enjoyable, obviously because of the opposition that we were playing. But I generally think the football, it was almost like just by the lads wanting to play a little bit wider. I mean, Phil, you're better at spotting these things than I am because you do it professionally, but it looked like that made Marsh ball really work. Because they didn't go so narrow and they went wide. I thought McKennie was a real breath of fresh air of just having someone that versatile. And when I mean versatile, probably more physically in the middle of the pitch, which I think really opened up, and that attacking free just had a new lease of life. And Ayling was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot to get into. I mean, before I'm going to come when it comes to Lad, I'm actually going to take it back a little bit because I've not actually had anything to say on this channel since Marsh was sacked. I don't think. And Lad, I know you haven't either. So I just want to, before we get on to Man United, how are you feeling about? Because for me, I kind of feel a little bit reinvigorated, and I know it sounds awful, and I've tried for a long time on this show to try and. Obviously, I think I probably give away a little bit of how I feel towards Marsh and the football and everything that's gone on, but I've tried not to let it stray too far and give too much, and I've tried to stay balanced to some degree, but I felt so fucking relieved the other night. It honestly felt like that's the first time I've enjoyed watching Leeds in 11 months, as harsh as that sounds. And how did it feel for you? Do you feel sorry for him that he's gone, or do you think...
I have to say, I did feel gutted for him because I was like, you just wanted the best for him because he was one of those guys, you know, you really wanted him to do well because, you know, like he seems like a good guy. The way he comes across his presses and stuff, he always seems like a good guy. So I was gutted that it didn't work out for him. But, you know, and I was saying this to everyone that I've talked to about it, 2 wins in 17 games is dreadful. You know, it's results based. Change had to happen because I think the players that we had it doesn't show for the results that we had because what was it? We're on like 18 points at the time we sacked him. That team that we have, it doesn't, that's not 18 points worthy. You know, it's a good squad, young squad with high potential and stuff. So Yeah, I was gutted, but at the same time, I was like, we get someone else in, we can look promising, like, build on from it, really.
You were quite happy to keep him after Forest, though, weren't you? Because I was giving it loads in here, like, God, he's got to go, all that type of stuff. But, yeah, I spoke to that pre-beard, Phil. It's a good beard. But you weren't Jesse out after Forest, were you?
I wasn't Jesse out after Forest. Don't get me wrong, I thought the Forest result was awful because the thing was we always played well. We just never did the important stuff right, which is like, the main thing. But I was never Jesse out. I would have been fine with. I always saw it as if we kept Jesse, this might ruffle a few feathers here. Yeah. I think we would have stayed up by the skin of our teeth again. I think we would have stayed up, and I think.
Based on the quality of the squad, though, yeah?
Yeah. Honest, I think that's what it would be come to the end of it. It was kind of like the same as last season as well. Of course, he helped with the motivation of stuff, but if it wasn't for, like, Rafinha getting those, like, clutch moments in, we would have been gone. But I think if we kept him, we would have stayed up by the skin of our teeth. But now that we've sacked him, depending on who we bring in, I think we could see ourselves drag away from the relegation battle a bit. Mm-hmm. Depending on who we get, that's all.
Interesting. It's good to have different views. I mean, it's rare to speak to someone that is pro Marsh, and I'm not saying that you're 100% pro Marsh, but it's rare to have someone that is going out in defence of him. It's a very different kind of sacking to obviously the one previous, but to most sackings, in all honesty, in that there's been no goodbye from any of the players. I don't know too many fans that feel like it was the wrong decision. I think the majority of fans seem to think that it was a bit too late, to be honest. I think he felt to me like a cat with 9 lives in terms of we can think of at least 3 games this season where we all left the stadium and thought, that's got to be it now. Yeah. It just never seemed to end. And I think for me, the only thing that I struggled to ever really connect with him was I didn't like the style of football from day one. I never liked watching Leeds United play. And if you're going to play a brand of football that the fans can't get behind, you have to get results. And if you're not getting results, and I think everyone by this point has seen all the different stats that have flown around, the win percentage being lower than Dave Hockaday's, and the little bits of the 8 wins that we did get, how many of them were reliant on last minute goals and 4-3s and 3-2s and still conceding a shitload of goals. There was only really 2 games in there, the Chelsea 3-0 and the Watford 3-0 last season, that you could say were a performance. But even I hated those games.
Yeah,
I'm not going to miss the last 11 months. Nope. I'm not. And I don't feel bad saying it now he's gone, but as much as I understand people say, he's a nice man, and I wanted him to do well as well at the time. I wanted Leeds to do well. So whoever's in charge, I wanted him to do well. But because of the brand of football that he plays and the way that other night felt when he wasn't there, I do feel a little bit like, not good riddance, but I'm relieved that it's over and that we can move on. And I do feel like, fingers crossed, if we get this decision right, and obviously there's plenty of talk that's going to go in over the next hour or so into this new manager and the search and how hilarious that's starting to become. But I think if we get the right person in, like you said, lad, the squad that we've got at the moment, Dad, should never be in the position it is. You look at Everton's squad, and they've got a new manager going in there, and it's 1 game, but they had a bounce against Arsenal. That squad for me is not anywhere near ours. Forest, their squad's not near ours. Totally. Bournemouth, Southampton look down already. If you ask me, to be honest, but there is 4 or 5 sides, as in teams with you look at the squad where I think we are stronger than them. But based on the performances up until this point, the line for me was drawn when I can't see 2 teams worse than us. And that finally sort of changed a little bit the other night. But how do you feel? Someone coming into this surely could look at that table, despite obviously the results today and what it leaves the table looking like, because you got to have hope that we shouldn't just be scraping it. We should be, comfortable with this squad.
Well, Victor's, in all fairness to him, recruited in a great squad. Like, the last year, maybe not so much last year, last 2 transfer windows. I think we've really stepped up our game. We've done what we should have done the summer when after our first season in the Premier League. I think our squad surely is attractive to any manager in the world to come into the Premier League and go, wow, I inherit that. So I think fair dues to Victor and Rads and, even Kinnear, I suppose, on that front. I feel that where the problem is the type of manager we're going for. And I said this in the preview before Man United. It's great getting linked to the managers we are, who have got this potential to be brilliant. But I kind of think we should be ahead of that. And, I roll time, everybody. I think I don't see why we're not going up to Brendan Rodgers and saying, hey, but you Leicester project, you're going nowhere. You come to us with our squad, and you will go places with that. For everything we've just said, we should go for that quality of manager, that person who's got all that experience in there. And I know he might not be everyone's first choice. I'm sure there were ones like Pochettino and everyone. I do feel like they probably are too much of a stretch because of where they want to take their own careers. But you've got someone like Brendan Rodgers who is a Leeds. I think he would absolutely, his character, the way he likes to play football, I think Leeds fans would take to him. He would take to Leeds, and that club would be in the place. That's where I think we should be going. And, the guy, who's the guy that we're odds on at this moment for?
I keep getting, him.
Who?
Andoni Iraola.
Yeah, I mean, it's all potential, right? It's all a bit too high risk. You can look at the stats, and I was, just before we got on here, I was looking at his Wikipedia statistics, and his career was great as a player, and actually as a manager, he's doing okay.
Yeah,
I think where you get excited about him is his philosophy and what he likes his team to play like. That for me does not tackle the fact that we are joint third from bottom.
Yeah.
No, sorry, we're a point ahead now, aren't we?
Yeah,
Apologies.
but I just think it's like we said before. This team's better than the points that we're on. So I think
it is,
because I think it at the end of the day, it came down to the tactics. The way I saw it, our best players are our wingers. I think our best players are on the wing, and we're not playing with width. So you're not giving your wingers enough space to work with. So what's the point?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm just going to look at your microphone because it sounds really echoey. Yeah, there you go. You need to be talking. So it's been a while. It's been a while, guys. It's been a while since you've been here. Sorry for
is that good now?
That's much better.
Okay, I'll get closer.
I think he was talking into the back end of the microphone.
But I think it's like I said, the team's better than the points that we're on. If we get a coach in who knows, I think what we really need is a coach who knows how to play with width. Make the pitch as big as possible for us, and that's where we'll excel. And I do think we would become one of the better teams at that bottom side of the table.
So,
if we play the correct tactics.
So, what's the argument there? Because I agree, but I want a manager who can definitely know how to deal with that in the Premier League.
But I think
anything outside of who hasn't had experience is a risk.
But it's very like. Narrow because you're gonna have to go to a club and say, "Oh well, we want your manager."
Yeah, he's narrow.
The likelihood is right now, no Premier League club's gonna go like, "Okay, we'll let you talk to our manager."
They will. If money talks, and we're wanting to throw big money at your man.
I don't know. I'm with Lad on the just for the example that you raised, the Brendan Rodgers example. I don't think Leicester would. Let us talk to Brendan Rodgers in all honesty, and I don't think he'd leave that job for ours.
Why wouldn't he leave the job for us? He's an absolute glory hunter.
Well,
he's not going to get. He's not going to get.
If he's a glory hunter, he's going to see us 17th in the table.
Look, he's got a better squad. He inherits a better squad. He sees that the team are spending money, and you've got the 49ers coming in, and it's Leeds United. I don't know.
I don't think Rodgers is a realistic one.
I think you can go all the way up to. I mean, I would even argue Villa, but I know Villa's got a lot of royalty. I think you can go all the way with that Premier League, and you could. Any one of those managers would prefer this squad and this club.
Maybe not. Maybe so, but not in the position that we're in at the moment.
I just think this stuff for Premier League experience is not. I don't think it's needed as much in the modern day thing.
I don't know.
No, because when you look at it, so like you say like, oh, let's get a striker with Premier League experience. Okay, let's go for a Danny Ings. So that's what West Ham have done. How well has Danny Ings done for West Ham so far?
They haven't played him. They've hardly played him.
Exactly, yeah, but I think all these players that we pick out with
That's like saying how well's Rutter doing?
Because all these players that we pick out with Premier League experience, so they're all average. But people will rate.
Brendan Rodgers isn't average.
No. But my point is, but why do that? Just go with Brendan Rodgers when we can go for someone else who will play exciting football and probably will get us up the league. I prefer the risk more than anything.
Oh,
I prefer
by Dad's recommendation, this is the man for the job.
No chance.
Premier League experience.
No. You're
Premier League experience, and he was successful in Prem. So
no, you see, stop twisting my words. I'm just saying that adds to the package of someone who knows and plays the technically like Brendan Rodgers.
We'll whiz a few names out there. I mean, we are going to go back to Man United because that was the plan, but I'm going to whiz some names out because
this is still a hot potato, right? It's not slaughtered.
Ones that's just been thrown in the ring over the last few days, which my reaction to is just, I want to be sick, I'll be honest. But would you take Nuno?
No.
Oh, right. Well, Nuno just fulfills all the categories you just said. Why would you take Nuno?
No, he doesn't. His football is awful.
Premier League experience.
You're ignoring what I'm saying about the style of football and like how our team know how to play. You know, they actually wouldn't be bamboozled by a Brendan Rodgers coming in and asking the things he asks of his teams and has done over history. Whereas Nuno just come in and have back
three, block throws.
Have to look everybody. You know what I mean? I'm not asking now. Oh, it's again, you're twisting my words there. I am saying
your job to be fair.
You're focusing on that one point, and it does have to be someone who coaches in a certain way and has a certain mentality. And my point is, there's a guy sitting there at a club that is offering him nothing, absolutely nothing. And you've got a team like Leeds United who, if they get that appointment right as a head coach, we're flying.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I mean, we are flying.
He's not sitting there though. He's at Leicester where he's being backed. He's being backed by the
how many players did he buy this season?
No, what I mean, no, I don't mean by that. It's like when Leicester went through that real patch of like they were really bad at starting. He kept with him.
He had every excuse because they didn't invest.
Yeah,
he had every excuse for that. He was empowered in that bad run because he said, "Well, you never helped me out."
Well,
Bielsa.
So why didn't he Bielsa?
What about that?
Well, I literally just said we didn't invest last January. And we still sacked Bielsa.
Yeah, and look what happened. Eventually we did.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, it's two different clubs, though, innit? You know what I mean?
Lad, would you take Nuno then, or is that a no from you as well?
Oh no.
So I mean, I'm assuming you guys aren't, and I'll be honest, I'm not either. I'd never heard of him until a few nights ago. I'm assuming you're not experts on this Arne Slot. I mean, I know he seems to have turned it down, but would you have taken him? Or?
Well, on Tuesday night when we did the preview, me, Chris, Oscar, I was really devastated because I made this massive assumption, obviously because we all follow Oscar and see everything, all the great work he does. This was the one manager we didn't know anything about, but we kind of we all, oh no, and then Chris did a quick Google, saw the methodology, but actually, because of the success he's having over there, there's a lot of hype around him and a lot of people are talking around him. When you look at it, he's probably the most coveted manager now in that market because, obviously Ten Hag's left and is it the SCUM. So it was easy to lots of people who were watching all these TV contributed to it. And he did sound like the kind of guy. His football, the way he likes to play was probably a lot more Bielsa-y. And that's the other thing, like I mentioned there, and why I would like a Brendan Rodgers is it kind of, can we just have a coach that knows how to defend, can help his teams defend, and it's great knowing you're going to have this. Well, I mean, come on.
Premier League
Would you?
experience.
Well, dude, you turn, if you want to turn it that way round and go down the Big Sam route, fair enough. He probably will keep you up, but I mean, that feels like we've gone back 2 decades.
Leeds fans would not take Big Sam. They just wouldn't.
I mean, we've had to take some crap in our time.
You've got to get the appointment right, and it's got to hit home with the fans. It's got to be someone that the fans can get behind, which is a little bit why I think Corberan was one that they went for in terms.
I agree.
He would have just sat nicely with us.
I quite like the idea we got him a pay rise.
Yeah,
that actually made me smile.
Yeah, it's nice. I think the Iraola thing as well as the fact that he's obviously a good manager, a good coach, doing a good job on a very low budget in a difficult league. I think the thing that would hit home with us is it kind of takes us back to, I know it's not the same person, I know it's a different journey, but it brings back a little bit of that Vamos Leeds Carajo thing that was going on for 4 years. It feels like going home a little bit. And I think for me, the sacking of Bielsa felt like it was that 4 years had brought me closer to the club than I'd ever been before.
Absolutely.
The method and the way that he was sacked, and then you get Jesse Marsh in, and I never really connected with him. I felt distance from it again, even though I was still going to all the games and still emotionally invested. But I do feel like, and I think a lot of people would feel the same, in if we were to get Iraola and there is that little bit of a connection, he's not Bielsa. He's not going to come and sit on it and make murder ball. It is going to be different, but there is a bit of a connection there, and it's a style of football we can get behind.
Played for him, right? You played.
Yeah, he was captain. Wow. Yeah. So there is a connection there. He says that he doesn't do murder ball, but he has taken a lot of Bielsa's theories into the way that he plays, and he's got that similar thing in that the players that are in his squad, when you look comparatively against the teams in La Liga, you wouldn't go up against Barcelona's squad and his squad and go, I can see how he's getting a tune out of them. It's the same as what he's turned mid-table championship players, basically, in Spain, into a team that's flying out in La Liga. He's improving players. That's his job, and he's doing it well. And he's got an exciting brand of football to watch. I think it would give us something that isn't, and I know people, I'm hoping that now that Marsh is gone, the whole Bielsa versus Marsh thing kind of dies down, and everyone just sort of is allowed to move on their own way. But I'd like to see that little bit of continuity and someone that can take us forward, keep us up. I do kind of get where you're coming from in that point, Dad, in that the reason you might want someone with the Premier League experience is that feels like a long-term project, the Iraola thing, to someone that might not have seen the football, know what he's about, and be totally convinced that he's going to come in and fit in seamlessly straight away. Whereas because of the fact that there is less than half a season left, the position we're in, maybe it is just a firefighting is what people would want. But if Orta makes the mistake of getting a firefighter in like Big Sam, and for me, I think Nuno would be a firefighter as well, which I'm not in favour of a firefighter. I'm more, as it sounds, in favour of the long-term thing, that if it doesn't go completely well and we were to go down, that it would see us come straight back up, because that's what Corberan is at West Brom. He didn't go in there as someone was going to just save them from relegation. He was meant to be like a long-term thing, and it got to grips a bit sooner. But
and don't forget, Nuno inherited a squad full of superstars and couldn't get a tune.
He did. The most expensively assembled championship squad in history is ridiculous. But what does everyone think about? I mean, I know he's kind of ruled himself out, to be honest, but give it Scoobs to the end of the season. Is that an option?
No. We were actually talking about this before. I think the prime example of not to do this is Burnley last season. They had their interim manager, and he got a good few results. I remember he went on a decent run of like 5 games where he got a good few results, and then it just started declining. I just don't. I think he's a good replacement for now whilst we find someone, because just from looking at it,
based on one game and 2 press conferences.
Well, but if you just Wednesday, it was like the football did just look better, and that was against one of the best sides in the league. I mean, preferably, I'm happy with him having these 2 games, but who is it? Is it Everton next week?
Yeah.
But by the Everton game, I would want someone else in charge.
I think there will be someone in charge. For me, it has to be in place by Monday at the latest. And then, I mean, I know there was, we haven't even touched on it, the tweets in midweek and how fucking funny they were. I'm sure he's been hacked, because they can't be normal.
I think he's just on it,
especially the JKA ones.
The JKA was hilarious.
That was the one I just thought. Actually, I went from the guy's a fool to actually that's brilliant. He's just having a crack. I mean, he's just enjoying himself in a dark moment.
That can't be him, sure.
I think it is. I think it's just his character. He likes having. I think he just likes having fun. I think he just likes having fun with it.
It was fun. It was funny though. To be fair, it was quite funny.
It definitely tickled me. But for anyone that isn't aware, I mean, I don't know where you've been living, but there was a tweet that went out from like one of these generic football sites on Twitter. Who's the worst January signing ever? And Radrizzani's official account replied to it with John Kevin Augustin. Although the first time he tried to respond to it, I think he put JFK.
He did, yeah.
And then he deleted that one.
Which makes me think it's actually him doing it. And I turned to Lad and I just said, well, he's probably right. So he's not lying.
Yeah, to be fair, he's right.
He's not being facetious. We're just not used to owners of clubs coming out in a public forum and saying it. Yeah. That's the only difference, right?
It's so out of the norm. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the manager search, for me, there is whispers that he's sent a direct message to someone that used to be on this channel and is quite notorious. But there's a message that's saying it's going to be announced on Monday. So that would be something that, for me...
Who sent the message?
Rad's apparently to Conor McGilligan. But yeah, he's sent a message.
I tell you what, fair play, Conor. If he's
got the scoop on it.
Fair play to Conor how he's managed to get that in. He's now got Rads. I remember him telling me he was mates with Charlie, Taylor. And I was impressed. And now he's moved from Charlie Taylor to Radrizzani. Fair play, Conor. Match for the week, if that's true.
The news is apparently going to be announced on Monday. But for me, it's any later than Monday. I mean, I didn't expect anyone to be in place, especially for Wednesday, but I didn't expect anyone in place for tomorrow. But I think someone has to be in place for the day after. I mean, ideally, whoever it is that's taking over should be at Ellen Road tomorrow to watch the game.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And we can talk about how it's frustrating that realistically they should have, because they were obviously talking to Marsh when they were getting rid of Bielsa. They should have had this all sorted out in the past, and it shouldn't have been sack Marsh and spend the next week dossing around. I mean,
it's only right. It's only two things. It's only strange because of what Rad's kind of put unnecessary pressure on himself and the club
no one was expecting for to be
exactly
announced.
I mean, we were kind of go, oh, that's brilliant, you kind of great, we're gonna have someone sitting in the stand at Old Trafford. But then the other thing is there's just lots of rumor that we're all buying into, and this could all be very much sorted and very calm behind the scenes. And if it's true that Conor's getting DMs from Rad saying it's on Monday, well, that means we've got the guy.
Maybe.
Well, that means if it's getting announced on Monday, and I believe that more than anything, that it will be all sorted. I think it will be there, and it's who it is going to be. And in all fairness to Leeds and these guys who have run our club, I don't think there's been one manager we've seen coming. Has it? Maybe Heckingbottom, maybe when you could kind of see why we're attracted to him in the context of where we were in that time.
Yeah.
But other than that, Christensen, I mean, I didn't have a clue who he was.
No.
Bielsa guys. Remember when Bielsa landed? We were like, what?
Yeah,
and then Jesse Marsh comes along and you kind of go, what's going on?
It was only in recent times. The only one that I really remember of, we know who it is, was Gary Monk.
Yeah.
I think we all knew who he was, but everyone else, it was just like,
yeah. Sorry, just knocked a glass over. This studio is very tight at the moment. I'll have to just go get a towel.
But I mean, obviously, there's the picture that I tweeted it out earlier because I enjoyed what I saw that someone had commented on it about the Victor at the arcades with his wife. there's obviously he's on a bike that's not going anywhere. Someone's put this is the most perfect visual representation of Leeds since we finished 9th, and I was just like, that's exactly the right thing to put. Just Victor on a bike that's going nowhere.
Well, put it in reverse. Put it in reverse. It's probably been going backwards, to be honest.
But obviously, the transfer window, he deserves credit, and
definitely.
I think the manager for me, I'm hoping anyway, will be sorted by Monday morning. And then you've got a week leading up to that Everton game. And those 2 games in particular are huge. But after the Scum game the other night, you've got to feel a little bit of relief and confidence going into tomorrow compared to, I mean, we spoke, Dad, before the first leg, I call it, or the reverse fixture, but about how we would have taken 1 point from 2 games. But now we've got a point out of that first game. And especially the way I can't ever in my lifetime remember us being 2-0 up at Old Trafford. Ever.
Ellen Road. Well, not in my lifetime.
That's what I mean.
Absolutely.
We had an hour of, for me, the most excitable football.
Fantastic,
that
it was beautiful.
I feel a bit more confident, but I'm just conscious, lad. I never really got a review from you on how did you actually feel about the game itself? Were you happy with how we played? Do you think that a point was a good result? Should we have held on for 3?
I was buzzing. I was buzzing. When we got that point, I was like, that is an amazing point for us. Yeah, yes, the way it happened, we were 2-0 up, we bottled it. But I'm not being funny. There was not a single point in that. And you probably heard me say it when we were watching it. There wasn't a single point in that game where I thought we were going to win.
No.
Even when we went 2-0, I was just like,
miserable. See, miserable.
Well, no,
she was completely on the other foot.
Getting old and miserable we all are.
Have you seen what we just watched in the past 20 games? Yeah. I don't think we're going to win it. Yeah. But obviously keep your expectations low so that you never get disappointed.
Oh.
That's kind of what I was thinking, really.
It's become so lean.
I remember a few weeks ago, Dad, you were saying to me when we had we were doing one of our watch parties, and you could hear me just shouting at the baby or like telling the 6-year-old off, just sit down. And then it was the other way around the other night. I could hear you doing the typical dad thing of, oh, come on, Leeds, 10 minutes to go, just get it in the corner, just hold on for fuck's sake. Me and my brother, we were stood up in the living room like, fucking go for a third, come on. And then you've got lads somewhere in the middle, like, it was an interesting dynamic, but it was a good performance.
Great.
Yeah, it was good. The point that it was such good away from home at Old Trafford, Man United, they're on form, they're doing great, and we've gone there, just sacked our manager, basically playing without a manager. A point at Old Trafford is not bad at all.
Do you know on Scoobs?
Seen us get pumped there as well. So
yeah, exactly. I've only known us to get absolutely destroyed by Man United. A 0-0 draw, no, a 2-2 draw. I'm happy with that.
I think with Scoobs, the only way it works is if we give him a 3-year contract. You know what I mean? I think if that's the only way it could ever work with him, because I think if you go, okay, you're a manager till the end of the season, you've lost the dressing room almost immediately. It becomes an uphill struggle with the dressing room, immediately. I tell you what, does anyone feel sorry for Jack Harrison? Do you feel sorry for Jack Harrison? Like he was going to go to Leicester, and then he didn't. Signed a new contract. Did he sign a new contract? Did that happen in here?
Well, they haven't signed a new contract yet.
I wonder if it's on hold then. I don't feel sorry for him then, because Jack's probably gone, right, yeah, no, I'm off.
Did he stay because they told him we're going to get rid of this clown after the next defeat anyway, so you can...
Do you reckon? Could be.
That would be more where I'd go with the assumptions if I was honest.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I think it was definitely an exciting night, and I'm twice your age, and I genuinely haven't. Obviously, Dad's 3 times our age. I haven't seen many days like that against Man United at home or away. I kept saying all the way up to the 70th minute when they were just about to score their first. I kept looking at my missus and going, Leeds have never beaten Man United at Old Trafford in the Premier League. Leeds have never been. And she just kept going, shut the fuck up. This might happen if you don't jinx it. But I couldn't believe it was happening. I was too excited.
That was great.
I couldn't.
It was a great performance, and I bet some people will feel like both fans on both sides will feel like they were hard done by. Probably could have got 3 points, but it definitely gives us confidence going into tomorrow. When you look at that midfield of theirs versus that midfield of ours, and when you look at the way that we actually managed to implement some sort of style of it, how we've been over the last 11 months, they don't frighten me anywhere near as much as they did on Tuesday night.
And complemented with what we know Leeds would. I mean, we none of us are getting to go tomorrow. We're all gutted, aren't we? Someone like loads of other people. Or was it 30,000 people in that goddamn queue to get tickets? But it's imagine what it's going to be like at Ellen Road off the back of a 2-2 draw in that performance. Yeah. That is going to be one of the biggest bear pits the Premier League has ever experienced tomorrow. It's going to be a level up on that brilliant game last year where we ended up getting whooped. But, the sliding tackles in the pouring rain, water on the pitch, that was beautiful, right? Yeah. And so imagine what it's going to be like tomorrow off the back of that performance and Nonto's performance tomorrow. Without getting, I'm not ruining predictions of lineups, but imagine what that the support for him is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be wonderful,
mate. Just Willie Nonto scoring at the Stretford end and then doing this in front of the Stretford end.
Oh, great.
Oh yeah. When he walked off at the end and he started waving at them.
he's very quickly becoming cult hero, isn't he? But it was a night that we'll remember, and I am obviously devastated that we've missed out on tickets. I think that's the first game this season we've missed out on getting a ticket to, and it's
we've looked out, haven't we, on ballots as well, but we never got that. But heads up, lads, we'll be there in spirit.
Yeah, and we'll be there at Southampton instead to make it all better. Yeah. But no, anyone that is going, and if you're watching, obviously, first of all, smash the like and subscribe as always, all that shit. But if you are obviously going tomorrow, enjoy the game. We're very jealous and just sing your hearts out for the lads.
Give it everything.
Good. But there'll be no lack of bite from that crowd tomorrow. I must admit, I didn't feel the only thing that was missing the other night for me, apart from Lisandro Martinez being a twat to Bamford, there wasn't enough bite for me. I don't think at Old Trafford, because of how many tourists actually go to the game, is a very hostile place to go anyway, but it didn't feel like it had that Leeds United, Man United bite to it. And I'm hoping
because don't forget, our toughest players got very early yellow cards, and for no reason, except for Tyler Adams' was a yellow card, definitely.
McKennie's
wasn't. I know he was throwing himself about a bit, but I tell you,
Werber was flying it.
But you know what? Can we just focus on that?
What?
Werber picking the formations today.
Yeah,
he is just throwing a curveball in, because that guy is the best centre back we've had at Ellen Road for how long? Maybe
since Ben White,
Cooper Bartley, but Ben White, great
Ben
shout,
White.
Great, isn't he? He's first choice centre back, which unfortunately causes one hell of a decision that none of us thought we'd ever say, possibly, for a back four.
Get him in. Exactly who I'm talking about.
I know we do. But the one thing with Firpo, which was really annoying, was he came on, and I certainly said it. I don't know if anyone backed it. Well, okay, we're definitely going to concede now. And he actually had a good game, didn't he?
I celebrated that yellow card like it was another goal.
That was beautiful.
Do you know what's nice about that? It wasn't his mistake.
No?
Led to him doing that. He was actually taking one for the team.
Oh, yeah.
So he's one of the boys now. But, unfortunately, he's on the pitch. We bloody concede. Even though I don't think it's his fault.
I felt the feeling of how an Italian felt when, was it Achille did that pull on Saka? That's how it felt.
Yeah.
That's how I was like,
do it.
This is brilliant.
For me, the first goal was, I think Robin Cox should do better. I don't think he should be beaten in the air by Marcus Rashford in the box.
No.
I think if you're going to pin it on anyone there, and then the second one, it bounces around. It's a bit of a lucky bounce. I think Melier can do better with the second one. I think I don't get any goals on third, though.
No, fair. I think with the goals, I think that first one, to be fair, centre backs could do better. I think that was just brilliant from Rashford, though.
Yeah,
that was a proper header. You know, you barely see people rise up like that, like change the direction of the ball so much as well. It was a good header.
You're
the
right.
second one I have more of a problem with, but then at the same time, when you look at it from, let's give a little bit of respect. I think Meslier does see it late, and you can tell by the replay as well. He starts to dive.
It comes through a couple of players, doesn't it?
Yeah. It goes through a couple of players. It's a little bit of a dodgy one. He should do better, but he does see it late. I think both the goals, they could have been stopped, but at the same time, it's like, well, they were kind of hard to stop as well.
I agree completely with both those points. I think Mez got too much of a hard time for that. The one thing I would say about the Rashford one, agree, amazing finish. Shouldn't have been allowed for the cross shouldn't have come.
Yeah.
And also, I just look at that and go, and you can see what's Cox's starting position with that header.
Yeah.
It's just not right at all. And that's kind of the story of our back four, though, right?
Yeah.
You know, they just can't handle that type of ball coming in. They haven't all season. You know, and what Scoob's going to be able to do with that in a couple of days.
Well, yeah, I mean, on Scoobs, and I know we briefly sort of mentioned him, and Dad suggested giving him a 3-year contract, which is
I said I did not. I said the only way that appointment could work is if you give him a longer term contract than the end of the season, because he's on an uphill battle. If it's any shorter, get lost.
It's his birthday, and all we've done is wind him up.
My birthday, I've smashed the glass. It's like it's not going well this one today, I tell you. Yeah.
We've done nothing but piss him off so far, lad. Let's keep going. But yeah, I mean, on the Scoob thing, I mean, completely irrelevant. And normally we do a little bit of a section on this show where we discuss what's been said in the pre-match press conference, and that helps sort of lead me into the lineup discussion. But I just want to ask both of you how much have you enjoyed these press conferences? Have you listened to them?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think I love the cut of his jib.
I've only seen the snippets. It's just funny. He just seems like he does seem like a guy who's literally being thrown into the job, and it's just like, we're just going to get the players to try the hardest. We're going to try and get somebody else. Especially like that first one, he was like, yeah, we're just going to give it a go on Wednesday night. We're just going to give it a go and give it our best. See if we
it was
can
more
get
of the
something.
same. It was more of the same, wasn't it? And I liked just how he in the game against Man United. When he subbed Bamford, you could almost like see Bamford's reaction was, "This has never happened to me before in my life. How dare you sub me off?" He said, "No, this is exactly what we wanted. When you're playing shit, that you get subbed, and like there's not this unforgiven fate." You could see when Bamford sat down, he was like, "I can't believe they've subbed me off." I mean, in all fairness, we did collapse after Bamford did come off, but I that came directly from whether it was Scoobs or this team who are looking after us right now. They seem to be more attuned to the problems that we were all going, like even Rocker getting dropped, guys.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's kind of like, how often can this? How often? Or was it just an injury?
Yeah, because he wasn't in the squad.
Do we think he'll be back? Do we think he'll be back, Rocker? Because he said he said in his press conference he's going to be back, didn't he?
I hope not.
He says he's fit. The press conferences for me, I just love the stark contrast. They last no longer than 10 minutes max. Every question is one sentence done, and it's not talking shit for the sake of talking shit. I mean, I have really enjoyed I find him so refreshing. And look, I don't think it's going to go on too much longer. But he's definitely put himself in the spotlight for something somewhere deep down the line, whether that's
our best result at Old Trafford, our best performance at Old Trafford in a Leeds fan's lifetime.
Yeah.
We need to keep him,
other than obviously the big one with Simon Grayson, but we're not getting Grayson back, are we?
Assistant manager.
It would definitely be disappointing to see, say, if Iraola is the one that comes in and it's done on Monday, he brings his whole backroom staff with him and Scoobs and I wouldn't be disappointed to see Armas go, to be honest. But Armas and Ewan Sharp, I mean, for me, anyone, the same applies to coaches or players. If you've been at SCUM before, you should be here. And I know that sounds awful, but I don't feel sorry for saying it. If you've worked,
I don't know, Brian Kidd, when he was with us,
Strachan.
He's basically the ultimate coaching slag. He will work for anybody.
And when he was slagging it with us, he was great. Brian Kidd was great when he was slagging it with us.
Anyone that's been at SCUM before, no, thank you. Doesn't do it for me.
Even Wotton.
Especially Wotton. It's the ultimate turn off when they're walking in a Man United shirt or
pretty horrible. It is pretty horrible, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just horrible.
Even with Dan James.
Well, there you go. Point proved. Move on to the next point. There you go.
I'm intrigued to see, you've already kind of hinted bits of it, but we'll go on to lineup predictions. And guys, if you want to play along in the chat and get your lineups in as well, if you want to just throw the whole lot in, go for it. If you want to go position by position, join us, it's fine. But I'm not going to bother asking you both your keepers. We're all going to go Meslier. Let's move on. Meslier had a good performance the other night. I know I might have said earlier I thought he could do slightly better on the second goal, which I know you thought was harsh, lad, but he did have a good game. He kept us in the game. He kept us at the point that we deserved. And
he did well.
It wasn't quite Liverpool-esque.
No.
Because I think we played that well, and McVerber was fantastic, man.
The defence was brilliant. And I think at right back, this shouldn't be a conversation based on the other night. And I've seen a couple of people in the comments saying what we're about to say, but I know we're not doing player ratings, but I want you both to give me a number out of 10 for Luke Ayling the other night.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm slightly less nice.
What, 9.5, 9.5?
Yeah, I think on the night I went 8.5, but it was
8.5.
He was still the highest that I had for anybody. But I'll bump it.
When you do your professional player ratings, that's what you give your professional player ratings.
When someone
emotion out of it.
Yeah, when someone might actually read it that wants to give me a job, I'll call it. But,
no, 10 out of 10. He was a proper captain, money.
Yeah, it was so. The bit that summed up for me when he did the Ayling flop and he got up and celebrated.
But because the thing is, with that, you could see what he was doing. He was teaching the young a lesson, money.
Yeah.
That lad who was cheating his ass off Frankenstein head.
Yeah,
he was like proper teaching him a lesson the whole time through. Do you know the only time I've seen, and it was a completely different context. I might have mentioned it before on this channel. I remember going to Old Trafford and seeing Gary Kelly very early on mark a young Ryan Giggs, who was like this amazing, he was the new George Best, man, everyone was talking about, and Gary Kelly marked him out of the game. And it felt like maybe from a different context, Gary Kelly was young there. Ayling just did the business on who was meant to be the player that tore us apart.
Yeah. No, I thought he was unreal. The tackles, the blocks, he didn't really get any joy out of him, Garnacho, on that side. And it was
great going forward. You got a bit of that Ayling progression, didn't you? He made things happen moving forward, I thought, as well.
And there's been, not from us, but the other guys on this channel obviously have been putting lineup predictions out.
Yeah, why is that? Why don't we get the flash graphics? Why don't we get asked?
Well, I don't know, mate, but the guys keep putting Rasmus in instead of Ayling, which I just don't get. Ayling for me,
Rasmus is dreadful.
I'm sure he'll come good eventually, but at the moment, Ayling is first choice. It might not be forever, but based on performance this season, you'd struggle to argue.
I've only watched Rasmus in one game where I thought he was good, and it was in a pre-season friendly.
Yeah.
It was that game that we won 6-2. I was like, hey, he actually looks pretty good.
Did we not do the first pre-match of the season, and one of our predictions, one of my predictions was he was going to be the player of the season.
Here he comes. He's waiting for me to bring about the Everton thing again.
That looks great.
Everton top 10. They've got Sean Dyche now. Everton still might make that top 10. Anyway, let's take it back to Leeds. Let's keep it Leeds.
Well, I've got to pull you up on that. Your bet at the start of the season was with Lampard in charge, they would finish in the top 10.
I never said Lampard. Stop putting words in my mouth. I never said Lampard.
At the time, you was, or did you think that they were going to sack Lampard in the first 5 games? And go
I never committed to anything other than a top 10 finish forever.
Yeah, but the team that you were saying was finishing in 10th was a team that was under Lampard. You thought he was guiding them to 10th.
Let's keep it Leeds, lads. Let's keep it Leeds. Come on, keep it Leeds.
So yeah, we were meant to be on the back 4, but right back is obvious. I think resounding Luke Ayling at right back.
Yeah.
The 2 centre backs, and that will probably reveal everybody's left. But either way, I mean, let's say left back first. We'll do centre backs next because Pascal's obviously out because of the concussion thing, which kind of narrows it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw my hat in the ring here and say Junior Firpo has been good in his last 5 appearances. I'll be honest, and I've been the person on this channel that has berated him for a long time.
Don't worry. We both have as well. Just not streamed it, that's all.
Yeah, true. But would you not, for the sake of having a left back at left back and keeping the person that actually looked and has looked like a world-class defender since he's come in, to keep him in his natural position, would you not just play Firpo?
I've picked Firpo in mine. I've put Firpo left back, but it was also because last season as well, Leeds United against Man United at Ellen Road last season, he was throwing in tackles left, right, and centre. His whole kit changed colour. His white kit turned brown. I remember he was having like one of those games where he's just thrown himself into everything. And I hope he does that again, but a little bit more discipline than like, absolute psycho stuff.
Firpo and discipline.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah, that isn't going to happen. But I think Firpo, and it does give away the 2 centre backs, but and I'll probably get onto why that. But
I think it's a question not with this that what would you should never really think about what the opposition are thinking, but as soon as you put Firpo on that starting back 4, they're going to target him.
Yeah,
because they'll know that's where.
But the other night they targeted Ayling.
Yeah, but that's it. Brilliant, because that worked out. But I mean, I would have more faith in Luke Ayling working that out than I would Firpo. So does that become a problem for us? I don't know. I don't know how Ten Hag thinks, but that is how he thinks. Is that how he likes to play? They like to target the weak spot, right?
I don't know, because I think targeting a player, I think it's a very like
Firpo can't defend.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's a very low.
Put it over his head.
Thing to think of. When you look at the top managers, they never think, "Oh, we'll target that." It's we'll play our way. We know we're good at playing our way.
They do.
And we'll play like this.
Do. I have to disagree. They look for the weak spot. And having said that, I've gone Firpo. I have gone Firpo because of what you said. Because of what you said at the start. Because of the one thing we have not done in our transfer is sort out the left back. So we put ourselves in a position where we can't afford to take Verber out of that centre back. Yeah. We just can't. He's too good. He's too brilliant now.
And the equation that you're left with is, and this is all hypothetical based on, is Liam Cooper fit? Is Liam Cooper able to come into that starting 11? And you are genuinely left with, I'm assuming your centre backs are going to be the same as the other night, Verber and Koch.
Yep.
So you're essentially left with the equation of what do you put in? Do you put Firpo at left back, or do you put Liam Cooper in at left centre back? And all 3 of us have resoundingly actually gone for Firpo over Cooper. But that's because, as much as I love Liam Cooper, and I think he's a great captain, been a great servant to the club, and I'm not one of these that thinks he should go at the end of the season. He should still be allowed to stay at this club and be a leader in the dressing room. But when you compare the performances you've got, and Liam Cooper for me has been a solid Premier League defender for us since we've come up. But we've never seen a performance like we've seen from Werber since he's come in.
Well, why aren't we choosing Cooper over Koch if he's fit?
What, a right centre back? Or are you swapping them around?
Or maybe I'd probably trust Verber to be more the right centre back because of the way he's playing.
To be fair, that pairing, and I think like the left foot and right foot pairing, and I think when Koch's been paired with Werber, he hasn't been that bad really. I think, when they've played together at centre-back, I don't think they've been that bad.
And Cooper did play together at centre-back a couple of weeks or a couple of games ago, didn't they? And it was Cooper on the right and Verber on the left.
I think he did, yeah.
I
I can't buy into Koch this season. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but I'll tell you something though.
Sorry.
But in the first in the first half of the season though, Koch was playing with Llorente at centre back.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
You know.
All right. All right. So your argument is Koch has
Guilty
had
by association.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been times where a lot of our games this season been sitting in the cop, and so you get like what Koch's view is, and man, some of his decision making on his passing is absolutely horrendous.
The pass to aim every time is
that West Ham game. I just wanted to.
Stop that! Stop that! And grab him.
I wanted to stab my own eyeballs because I don't know, but I just know that
don't ever do that.
He just I won't. But I just know that he just wouldn't have stopped it. Honestly, it was the most frustrating thing. You'd get the ball short and he'd like play that pass out to Ayling every time, and it'd just screw us over.
Yeah,
it was awful.
But that's not who we are anymore. That's
so who we committing to? Who we committing to? Yeah,
and I think we've all seemingly gone Ayling right back, Firpo left back, and I think we all resoundingly have gone Verba left centre back and Koch right centre back. Although Dad, you would prefer to have Cooper and Verba switched.
I mean, the only thing is it's not confirmed that Cooper's fit, is it? It's like up in the air, and I don't know. I think it is. I think by more of what we have access and what we can do, I think it's Ayling, Koch, Verba, and Firpo.
Yeah.
Which I think's a weakness, and probably the only weakness being shown of our transfer activity over the last 2.
Yeah, that's fair. An interesting one for both of you, and obviously the guys putting all their lineups out on our Twitter page earlier. If you haven't had a look, guys, go and have a look and see which one you agree with. Have a comment and see if you can inflate anybody's ego. I'm sure Oscar will.
And that's why we never ask us.
Yeah,
why don't you ask those lot?
But the one of the questions that it raises is formation, and obviously Scoobs went 4-2-3-1 the other night, which it can mould into a 4-3-3. Sometimes becomes the 4-3-3 anyway. But
or moulded into a 10 at the back at one point.
Yeah,
hey, I loved it. I love that we've had many years of that happening to us. So to give it back to another team is brilliant.
Yeah,
especially them as well.
Yeah, exactly. Especially Man United.
What formation would you guys go? Would you go 4-2-3-1? Would you go 4-3-3, or would you go full penis and just embrace one last Jesse Marsh as manager?
well, I mean, I've put 4-2-3-1, but it's like you said, it can easily change into a 4-3-3. And it does change a lot of things, but it's very like, you can swap it easily if things aren't going well. But my base formation is 4-2-3-1 I've gone for.
I mean, I haven't really looked at it, but I don't think the Scum have got any player progression from injury at all that they didn't have on Wednesday.
They're still the same.
So I think 4-2-3-1 fits perfectly the task at hand with the which I really liked, and it was Jackie was doing it, wasn't he, in the centre? Just dropping back a little bit and picking it up in the middle. He burnt out, didn't he?
Yeah.
He really burnt out. Didn't
it's because he had so much freedom, and the reason why it's probably because Casemiro wasn't playing. I think if Casemiro was there, a lot of the stuff that we did in that game wouldn't have happened. Because of just like the way he plays and stuff. Because when you look when Harrison picked up the ball, there was a huge gap in between their defense and midfield, and he was just free in there, and it was brilliant for us. And I'm hoping the same happens tomorrow. So,
I mean, I do. I think there's a flip on that, and we'll get it to the midfield. I think you're right in exactly what you say, but I think there's a real different way, and Michael is kind of, I think, maybe where I am from what you said in there, but I kind of feel we start the game with how we ended to a certain extent. However, I don't want to cue too much, but going into the 2 in midfield, if we're in there.
Yeah, go for it. That's exactly right.
It's Tyler and McKennie again.
Yeah, Tyler and McKennie.
And you get that energy in there. Yeah. And I would probably have Aronson as that third one, not Harrison. I'd drop Harrison for this.
Yeah.
And I would start with and have Harrison come on
Yeah.
And be a game changer when we need him in both we're holding on for the game and also we're going for the game. I think that's a better option than having Aronson coming off the bench. I think Harrison will do more.
First of all, we'll go for the two in the double pivot role, whatever you want to call it. But I think we're all unanimously sticking with Adams and McKennie from the other night out.
Yeah.
I think everyone else probably would as well. It was good to see them two linking up well. They kind of vibed off each other as well. They both snap into a good tackle and go and back each other up, which I like. But yeah, if there is a third in midfield, I think just based on what you were saying there, Dad, that the only thing I'd counter it with is surely you'd start the game with the player that's in form. And Aronson is still bang out of form. I know he came on the other night and was rested for the start of the game and played a little bit better, hit the post with a free kick, which I was very surprised to see him take.
Yeah, it's nuts, wasn't it? Yeah.
But Harrison, for me, I know people will say he's not exactly been 10 out of 10 in every game lately, but he's on better form for me than Aronson. So I'd start.
He absolutely is, but I'm thinking more of what the Scum are going to roll out. And when that high intensity pressure that those three can give, and that's what McKennie, like, if you think about McKennie, actually, it was all about the intensity in the press. And I think that's what you said. They vibed off each other. They were doing the same thing. But actually, McKennie's distribution was absolutely awful. And I think that's just probably he just struggled with the pace of the Premier League and how quick you have to be.
So you want an all-American midfield?
I want an all-American, full-blooded, 60 minutes.
Bring back Jesse.
In fact, we might even have the jingle on there, lad. I don't know if you can find it, but like the old America, fuck yeah, kind of jingle going in. And I think to start with that will be brilliant. And then to have someone... But then to have, that'll be Aronson putting the press on, and then your wingers and your striker get more time and have the freedom or the excitement, adventure that they can have because of those three in the middle doing such a great press.
I think a couple of people have gone with a couple of people have done what Danny's done and just basically added Rocker to that Adams and McKennie midfield three, but. I mean, lad, I know in particular you're a massive fan of Mark Rocker, so you're always going to be on.
Oh yes, get him right in there. No, awful.
Sam Greenwood starting just so that we can have some good corners.
I think Sam Greenwood should just be on a transfer list, and that's as much.
Sam Greenwood is not good.
It's not happening.
He is not good.
Don't get I buzzed off what he did for Bournemouth, and I'll always remember him for that. It's just not getting any better than that.
Some of the biggest suffering this season was seeing Mark Rocker and not Mason Greenwood. Sam Greenwood attempt to play football in that midfield. I just wanted to cry every time I saw that happen.
And the Rocker,
at least Greenwood is playing football. There is always that. We've got Mike here as well. Mike, nice to see you. Get your front three in as well if you're going 3-4-3-3. But I think the only question from the other night, and I know he's put something out on, was it Instagram, Sinistera, to say that he's okay, but just because obviously he was taken off in the first half with looked like hamstring.
It looked pretty bad, didn't it? It looked like he was
he went down
torn.
He went down straight away. It wasn't like a delayed on. He went down straight away. It was weird.
I'd be surprised to see Sinistera start tomorrow, wouldn't you?
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So you go on. Would you
look fit?
What did you say? Sorry.
I just don't think he's looked fit all season. I think when he was always a bit more of a ripped Traore type look to him when he first came. He looks like he's now
Traore. He looks a little bit stocky.
Well, I think now he looks like he's trimmed down a bit, and then but I don't think his body is quite physically there for the Premier League or what he needs to do to be brilliant in the Premier League. I think next season that kid's going to be absolutely outstanding.
It's kind of reminding me of, when Bamford came back so many times and just didn't quite look ready to come back yet. Yeah. That's kind of how I've felt with Cine since he came back from injury. And for me, I think on form, he's as good as Willie Gnonto is. He's real at the start of the season when we had him in, but he hasn't looked like that player for me yet since he's come back. But so if he isn't starting, which I would assume he's not, and we've all kind of already gone like 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, but we've given three in midfield. Who are your wingers then? Obviously, you can't take Willie Nonto out of the left, but who would you have on left and right?
Oh, well, so I've got a little bit different. So I put Nonto there, Nonto on the left, and then I had Harrison as my cam, so like that third midfielder. Mm. But on the right, I want to go for it. I put Rutter. I put Rutter out there. I think he needs, and it's annoying me every single game it happens. He needs to play.
Yeah,
he needs to get stuck into that team. We paid £30 million for a player just to sit on the bench. He needs to get into the side.
Yeah, no, I'd be in agreement. I think it seems like it's going to be a toss up between him and Somerville, and I can kind of see the thing that I expect to happen. I expect it to be Somerville. Yeah. Just because he's scored goals for Leeds this season, he's done well. He's grown into that first team picture. But for me, I think, like you said, the money that you paid to get Rutter in, I'd be tempted to start him. But it does seem to be a toss up between the two. Dab, who would you go for out of the two, or do you think it'll be
Nonto on the left and Somerville on the right? Because I don't think Somerville has had. He may have had a bad 45 once. But I think he's been absolutely brilliant and so dangerous. And there's just something magical when you see him and Nonto all of a sudden floating around the same area. You go, oh, God, something's going to happen here.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. But
Rutter needs minutes. He 100% needs minutes. But I don't think you could change that. I don't think it's fair. And that might key you on to where Rutter might be in my head.
Right, okay, teasers. I don't know. I just think if there isn't the next answer that's clearly coming from you, I just think if it is a toss up, which I think it will be between the two of them for that one position, I'd be confused if I was Jorginho Rutter and coming in and and being not picked ahead of Somerville to start games like this in particular. But yeah, intriguing to see who everyone else would go for in that position, and obviously a couple of people throwing in their striker here. And Dabs, you may as well because you've already given it away, really. But
I'd actually go for Bamford.
Fucking hell, man.
I tricked you. But I think that my point being is the tease would be I'd start with Bamford, but if I'm Rutter, I'm having Bamford's position.
Yeah,
I don't think he will be sitting there going, oh, I'm expecting to start in front of yay. I don't think he would I'm getting Somerville's position. I think Somerville has been nothing but an absolute baller since he's been in there. I think he'll be looking at Bamford and Rodrigo even saying, I'm having your position, lads. Because I like coming deep, and he's allowed, that centre forward is allowed to come deep, and that's where he likes it. I mean, he likes to attack. So he's not ready yet, lads. And we're playing Man United on Sunday. And that's why I go Bamford. But I would give Bamford. I loved what Scooby did. He went Bamford, enough, off. Yeah. And then he changed it.
Yeah, but I think
Bamford ain't going to get this grace anymore.
Yeah, but I hate getting hit with the you're not ready stuff. At the end of the day, this guy's a professional football player. We've paid £30 million for him. If you're paying £30 million for a player that's not going to be ready, what are you doing?
That's the question you've got to ask Victor Rutter.
Yeah, but it was especially because the situation as well. He has to be ready. I think he has to play soon. He has to start getting a run of games.
Do you know what was really interesting today? Something happened today, right? Which will seem mad for me to even make the connection. But did you see the Chelsea lineup?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you see? I mean, it was insane on paper, right?
Yeah.
That Chelsea lineup on paper today with all the players is insane. Now Enzo did get man of the match.
Enzo was quality,
but Felix did okay.
Felix was great,
but the
whole was great. The only one that wasn't good was Mudryk.
No, but the whole point is when you look at the team, it necessarily isn't ready to play, and I think that's what it is. It's not that Rutter's is rubbish, but he needs time, man, to get his head round to play, and that was a problem with Chelsea today. They had this plum period where Felix was looking amazing and Enzo was consistent, but Enzo's like more of I'll break up the play and I'll just pass it right or left.
Yeah.
It really showed that these guys, no matter how good they are, the price tags that's on them, they need time to figure it out. And that's what I thought with McKennie on Wednesday. Yeah. McKennie was like, man, I'm going to break this up. I'm going to tackle. I'm going to do this. And then he just went, oh, my God, I've got no time on the ball. Yeah, but and then just like hoofed it away.
But with Rutter, every time Rutter's came on, I've never really been that disappointed with him. I think when he's came, there was even a point in time.
Altrincham.
And you'll know this, Dad. Every time I've made cases for him sometimes for starting ahead of Bamford. Sometimes Rutter, because I said, Rutter, in a way, might be a bit controversial. I think he offers a lot of what Bamford does.
No, he does. He likes coming back.
Rutter is more technical with it. That's what I see it with. Don't get me wrong, Bamford, physicality, yes, but every time you see Rutter get the ball, it's always back off into a player, get it to feet, try and turn him.
Who've you started up front now?
Yeah, that was Bamford. And yeah. No. Yeah.
He's slagging Bamford.
Right. But
he started him.
But what you're not seeing and what Dad isn't pointing out here, I've put slashes. So
put slashes, Phil.
So my thing was
slashes.
No, my thing was if Sinistera starts,
right,
I put Rutter up front.
Yeah.
But if Sinistera doesn't, Rutter goes wide and then Bamford starts up front.
Do you know what the cutest thing about this is? There is fuck all on my desk here. There is nothing. There is nothing other than a computer, a beer, and a phone switched off.
That's written on my Vodafone bill. That's how I've done.
I'm actually really pleased that he makes notes. Well, but you've raised him so well, Dad. Well done. So, seeing as your dad spoilt your cover, do you want to tell us all who you've got up front, just in case everyone wasn't already aware, lad?
Right. So seeing as I've gone with Rutter on the right, it's Bamford up front.
Okay. You just slagged.
Yeah, but I'm not saying I don't think Bamford's a good player. No. I'm saying Bamford, I don't rate him that much. But in this circumstance, he kind of has to play up front. Who else have you got to put up there?
No one gone for Joseph.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, get Joseph up there.
So,
what's the alternative?
Fine,
you know what I mean?
To solve this. I do look like Harry Hill. Bamford.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I've gone Bamford as well. I mean, the physicality against Man United, and it sort of speaks for itself. But I do think if it's not working after an hour, or if it's starting to just sort of not get involved.
Scoobs does that, right? He's kind of showing, but if we take what he did on Wednesday, Scoobs was kind of, I'm taking, I mean, don't forget, by the way, this is something none of us have mentioned about Wednesday night. We had 2-4 subs very early on. Yeah. So, we played like we did, even with having to sub people early on.
We didn't say Strauch's out with concussion was taken off early.
I forget how brilliant that performance was when we were talking about it. We never really focused on, and we had to change it really early on. And
it was evil from the start, and it was against the odds. It was a great performance, and it should make you feel confident about tomorrow.
Tomorrow's going to be wonderful, isn't it?
We predicted the other day that we'd get 1 point out of these two games, but now that you've got a point at Old Trafford, realistically, we all thought we'd get dicked at Old Trafford, scrape a point at home. But now that you've got a point at Old Trafford, knowing you, lad, I'm thinking you're going to say 3 points tomorrow. Dad's going to say easy point, and I'm going to say I'll take a point. But at the start of the week, if you'd offered us 2 points out of these two games,
1 point.
Snap you. Well, I'd just snap your hand off for one, but two. I had an accident in my pants whilst taking it off you.
Yeah.
What do you think could happen? And guys, if you want to get your score predictions and everything in, let us know what you think's going to happen tomorrow. I want to know if you're giving me 2-2, Danny. Give me your goal scorers as well. I want to know.
Definitely. Yeah.
Who's going to score some goals for us tomorrow? But another 2-2, lad. Would you take another 2-2?
Yeah, I would, but I just, funnily enough, Phil, I feel like we might not get anything.
Oh.
And it just, but
because you started Bamford
but why is yeah. But like, I just have that feeling. It's it was the way Eric Ten Hag, especially like when he came out after the game, he did not sound happy at all. And that sounds like a guy he does sound like a guy that doesn't want to like fuck around or anything. But at the same time, I do have the hope inside of me that I'm expecting like some limbs, maybe something like a last minute winner or something. I'd love that. I'd love that.
First time I've ever heard you say the word limbs and Dad not press a button.
Yeah, well, I'm too far away.
Too far. Yeah,
I can't get to it. Is this set? We're gonna have to review this whole setup. These glasses have smashed.
It got put last second.
Why didn't you sit in the other seat so you could reach the button?
You asked me to sit.
I know, but we did. We sat here, and then I don't know. It's just
in all fairness, this is the mic that I always use.
I've set it up.
You've sat down and gone dibs, haven't you? You've gone, I call shotgun. This is mine.
We have gone the traditional setup, how we normally would, but unfortunately the buttons are over there and I can't get to them.
I can't.
I think this is a solid prediction from Scooby-Doo 2.
For red card.
If he does it in a respectable way.
And is Scooby-Doo 2 the manager for tomorrow? Is that him? Is he watching tonight for ideas?
He's been watching us for years, mate. That's where he's got all this tap.
Scooby-Doo 2. Yeah.
Everything that happened the other night, that's all us, All
big time.
Red card would be,
the score predictions, Dad. Come on, what do you think on
2-0 Leeds? 2-0 Leeds tomorrow.
Fucking hell, that's
2-0 Leeds, and it'll be back to the wall. It'll be back to the wall the whole time. And I think what we'll have is one of the Americans will score.
Yeah,
you've got high odds there.
One of the Americans will score. I think it'll be with my starting. If you've looked, I had Aronson starting in there, so it'll be one of like really high odds. So it's one of the
49ers then.
And I think when they score, they'll lift up their shirt and there'll be a picture of Jesse, just their Jesse head underneath, which will be their sign to say, no, we did care about Jesse. And then I think we'll be getting absolutely pummeled. And I was actually going to say Scooby took the win from me. I think Firpo will then get sent off, and we'll be back to the wall. There'll be VAR drama. I think the heavens will open and it'll start raining again, and there'll be thunderstorms, and maybe the game will get called off for 5 minutes whilst they clean the pitch, and that it's going to be drama, and then at the very end, Willie Nonto will score to make it 2-0. That's what I think will happen tomorrow.
As long as we don't lose because of it, if Junior Firpo gets a red card tomorrow for exactly Danny's beating me to it, if he gets a red card for fucking putting Bruno Fernandes in the stand, that is exactly what I want. Either Fernandes, Garnacho, or Martinez, one of them three in the stand. As long as we're 1 or 2-0 up and it's the 95th minute, Junior, you heard it here first, mate. You can have your red card.
I tell you what. Did you not feel, Phil? I know you're about to do your score.
Yeah.
But do you not feel like it wasn't vile how Man United players of that level are cheating? But the amount of times
it's just some 18-year-old.
But we're very accepting of it. But that guy who was bloody headlight Frankenstein. It was at least 4 times that he went down without being touched. Yeah. And then Fernandes just isn't a non-stop little rat digging away at the ref, and he falls if the wind changes. It's really. It really is frustrating, and it's like that top level that's going on. It's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's get Firpo red card. I love how we all are happy with Firpo getting a red card because we don't mind him getting a free match ban. It's a
blessing, really.
Strike will be back.
Do you remember? I mean, lads, you won't remember this, but Dad, you definitely will. When I was a kid, I remember when Danny Mills signed and we all thought, fuck's sake, he's absolute shit. And we started to chant, Danny Mills, he's fucking brilliant. And at first it was ironic. And then he got in the England squad.
Great, because Gary Neville
World Cup, and that became a song. And it was one of them where I think that transformation is beginning to happen with Firpo. That Firpo scores were on the pitch It's the same vibe.
Now, can we now just have it clarified and put down, documented, clip this? These are the 3 people who started that if Firpo scores were on the pitch.
It was.
Officially. Now, because Phil was really drunk and shouted it, no one really picked up on it. Then I went, I like that. And then I said it, and then everyone started like singing it. So this is the team.
I'm saying me and Lad were very much, this is going to be our song. We're going to get this going.
Yeah.
And we just needed your bong.
Yeah. You didn't, you were your timing. You were waiting because I was, well, you were sober, but you were probably off your head on sugar and burgers. I was ill full of cold, but I thought it was so good. So for all of you, we're famous guys. We started that in a stand, and I'm taking that to my grave. That will be on my gravestone. If Firpo scores are on the pitch, will be on my gravestone.
I started the if Firpo scores were on the pitch, Chad. It's on my CV. If anyone wants to hire me, that's what I've done in my life. Yeah,
he created it. I delivered it. That's what it is. Lad inspired.
I was there.
Yeah, we were all there. But that's Cardiff away, guys. But
what's your score? Your score
predictions. I'm going to go a draw, and I'm going to go an entertaining game. Again, that's all that matters to me. If I get 90 minutes like I had the other night, where I'm charging around my living room, genuinely fucking enjoying the game, that's enough for me. And
that'd be brilliant.
To get 2 points out of them in a week would be fucking amazing. Don't get me wrong, like everybody else, I'm sat here thinking it was a really good performance the other night. There's a chance we could do something tomorrow, and Bruno Fernandes talking shit in the build-up should be enough to inspire the players to go and leave one in on him and hopefully get us a result. I mean, it's been so long. And knowing our luck, because I'm not fucking there. They only win at home when I'm not there. So maybe it could happen.
What a great point that is.
Maybe it could happen. But, yeah, I mean, as much as the heart is saying 1-0 win or 2-0 win or whatever.
What are you going? 1-1.
The head's saying 1-1 draw. I'll take a draw.
Who scored?
Willie Nonto scores every game, doesn't he? So it's got to be Willie Nonto. It's the obvious one to go. But
tomorrow I'm fantasizing about Willie Nonto last minute shithousery in front of United fans. In front of the United fans going like this.
Yeah, I think they will score first, but I think we'll be the better team again, which I think we were the other night until we were 2-0 up and maybe sat back a little bit. But I think we'll get a draw. We'll be in the game, and that's all you can really hope for. As long as we're not getting pumped, as long as we're showing a good performance and coming away with something.
We got pumped. We got pumped on Wednesday. We got pumped on Wednesday.
We got pumped.
Oh, we did. There was moments.
The last 20 minutes.
There was moments where we had a good 25. But having said that, I'm saying I don't mind getting pumped for a bit. Do you know what I mean? God, I've said some quotes this show. But I don't mind that for a bit. But yeah, I generally think we've got what it takes.
I think we can.
I think we could do them with the crowd tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everyone who's going to be there. There's no one there tomorrow is a prawn sandwich eater. No one's a prawn sandwich eater there tomorrow. Everyone's venom, everyone's energy is going to be there. The players must be buzzing off that game on Wednesday.
Yeah.
The filling coaches. I think it all points towards, nothing but pride and brilliance tomorrow. And if that goes to 3 points, then absolutely fantastic.
Fingers crossed. And I mean, I'm just going to flash this up. I know it was a little bit earlier and there was a few comments flying around. I'll be honest, I haven't seen it, but apparently while we've been on the show, the odd shortened on Alfred Schroeder to take over, former Ajax boss.
Former Ajax boss in what timeline?
I believe
just got sacked.
He recently just got sacked. It's not going very well.
Woeful with him. You didn't do that well.
The Ajax, though, is they need to win the league and be getting to the Champions League knockout stages. Otherwise, deemed as a failure, isn't it? So
he's recently been sacked.
Yeah.
And so he took over from Ten Hag.
Yeah.
So where was he before that? Was he a Ten Hager or was he brought from somewhere else? I have a
feeling he was a Ten Hager. I feel like he was part of that setup.
He didn't leave for the SCUM.
I feel like he kind of came out of nowhere.
Sign him up. He go to the SCUM. Sign him up. Get him in.
Is it just a case of, though, Victor Orta was obviously in Amsterdam, we know or believe, a couple of days ago. Is that why that rumour's come about, or is there actual more?
I mean, you're in Amsterdam next week, right?
That is exactly why Victor's there, yes. So Victor Orta is in.
Connor from One Leeds gets Radrazani sending him DMs saying we're getting a manager. You're meeting up with Victor in Amsterdam next week with Chris, aren't you?
I've got his past clubs here.
Yeah,
so he managed 20 in a 14-15 season. Went to Hoffenheim as an assistant. Went Ajax as an assistant. Went Hoffenheim 19 to 20. I was like the manager there. Went Barcelona as an assistant.
Ooh.
I think that would have been with Koeman. And then managed at Club Bruges, then left for Ajax.
Well, Bruges is one that Orta had his eye on, obviously, with De Ketelaere.
Yeah.
And Noah Lang. So we know Orta has watched a lot of them. So maybe, who knows, might be credible. But
Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, that's Dad's vote. Dad's
go get Brendan Rodgers. Just do it.
Nailing Brendan Rodgers to his bedroom wall tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's Brendan Rodgers' pajamas?
Where's Brendan Rodgers tonight? That's what I want to know.
Well, probably celebrating a 4-1 win over Tottenham.
I was going to say he's probably out for dinner in Leicester, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, you've ever been to Leicester for I mean, come on. Even more we say.
Well, we have been to Leicester, actually.
Leicester, yeah. And the thing is with Leicester, you get out as soon as you get there.
Yeah.
It's honest to God, I'm telling you, it could be a thing.
But yeah, apparently that's the one that's gone all odds shortened. For me, as far as I'm aware, and from everything I've heard, Iraola is the one that they want. Iraola wants to come here. He just doesn't want to agitate for the move. And that, for me, if they are going to nail their colours to the mast and go, well, he's the one we want. We have had a couple of backups in Cobra and Schlott. They've not gone the way we wanted. Let's go all out for him. But if they are going to go all out for Iraola, it's give it scoops till the end of the season.
So is he the one, was it Slot or was it him who we text and we've got in a bit of trouble where apparently the club has texted the manager? Was it Slot? Have you seen it?
Oh, no.
There was a bit.
I think you've misinterpreted, or whatever you've read.
Right. All right, okay. Go on. Why? What are you thinking?
He said if he was to get a text from Leeds United that he would open it. They asked him if he would respond.
Right, okay.
He basically it was a nothing answer, but no, we haven't texted him. They did go and speak to him. They have spoken to Schlott. They have tried to speak to Feyenoord, and we've been told no in no uncertain terms by both, which is because of where they are in the league. He's about to win a
fair enough.
Why does he want to come here at that point? But Iraola is more a situation of the club have said no with Iraola in terms of they're not going to let this happen easily. They're going to make it difficult for us. The way things work over in Spain is that the manager would have to pay the release clause, basically. The deal with the contract is that he would have to go to the Spanish FA, say, I want to release myself from this contract. Leeds could just give him the money. Just go, here's 7 to 10, I think it's meant to be 7 million quid to release him from that contract. But the contract's up at the end of the season anyway. So why would you pay 7 million quid for something you can get for free in a few months' time?
Wow.
But your argument would then be, is staying up worth 7 million quid? Well, yes, it's worth 99 million quid just for finishing bottom.
And imagine the bonus you'll get off the back of that as well. So
and imagine what other manager you could get for that amount of money.
Well,
in the Leicester area.
Yeah, the Brendan Rodgers fucking hell. We'll have to stop this show real soon. Brendan Rodgers anymore.
I'm just saying.
You're going to be on a register in a minute for Brendan Rodgers' own health.
Where's Rodgers? Where's Brendan Rodgers?
There you go. While we've been on the show, the odds have gone short for you.
Oh, bloody hell. There we go, Russ.
Hey,
there we go. Get your money on, lad. No, don't bloody get your money on. Save your money.
I'll be the manager.
Save your money for pints tomorrow when we're celebrating. 2-0 tomorrow. Come on.
Well, thank you for watching with us, guys. It's been great having you all along. If you've enjoyed the show, as always, smash a like and subscribe to the channel and everything. I imagine plenty of content coming out over the next couple of days. There is going to be player ratings coming back. Oscar has told me today that player ratings is coming back. But as Dad has revealed, I am not here for player ratings this weekend. So that will be back after when we play Everton as opposed to Man United, because me and Chris are going to go and have a nice time. We booked a holiday because we thought we'd have to grieve after these 2 Man United games.
Yeah.
But it looks
the only reason we're not going with him is because I'm skint and he's too young. But like, let's give it another couple of years.
Yeah, it looks like me and Chris might be celebrating a lot next week. Fingers crossed. We can get that 2-1 Leeds tomorrow. 3 points and a nice bit of a weekend to go and enjoy and just put the Scum to bed with 100% happiness.
Can we promise the Leeds fan universe if we could do a live from Amsterdam?
No.
With us, you and Chris and us. That'd be amazing. What a show that'd be.
It's turned into the evening.
We do the preview for Everton. Let's do the preview for Everton, like with you guys in Amsterdam. Reason. We'll host, and you guys just, we'd
have to host.
Contribute. You just walk around Amsterdam with your phones like that, and we'll just cross to you. If you want that, smash the likes now. Say. Great show.
It would definitely be an interesting show, wouldn't it? I'd be semi. We'll see.
Would it be allowed on YouTube?
Take down all Leeds.
Yeah, we'd be demonetized very, 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 very.
No wonder they never ask us to do the preview graphics. That's why, isn't it?
That's why.
We're all records.
The Amsterdam Fair.
So yeah. As always, Dad, thank you very much for your time.
Right.
As always, it's been a pleasure.
Brilliant.
Guys, thank you very, very much. And I'll need to turn off before these comments get me laughing as much as Amsterdam probably will. As always, thank you for watching and fingers crossed for a win for tomorrow.
Come on, Leeds.
Come on, Leeds.